All wrapped up here at the Thornbury Surfacing Stadium with Chippenham Town manager Mike Cook. Mike, a 3-1 win against St Albans, a team that you and I have both said they're going to be there when push comes to shove. Great result, but more importantly, fantastic performance this evening from the lads.
Yeah, I thought we were superb first 45 minutes. Possibly the best we've played, I think, with controlling the game. You know, if you listen to Klopp and Pep Guardiola and people like that, and when they talk about controlling the game and you've got possession of the ball and they don't look like scoring and we're winning all our headers, we're winning all the second balls, I just thought we were immense. You know, it's pleasing for people, the home supporters who are paying their, 12 quid, 15 quids, that, that's good value for money that they've got tonight. That is a proper football game that we've won because we've been better at playing football than the opposition, which, they've got a great team. They've got a great manager. I know Dave Noble, who didn't play tonight, but, players like Dave Noble, what footballers they were. So they want to come and they want to, get those 3 points. So that was what was really pleasing.
Inconsistent form was something that you mentioned last week about us sort of going up and down, and we're bound to get it with a young side. I think that all of us will freely admit that we came into this game possibly not expecting quite what we saw this evening. A young side again this evening. Obviously good to see a few players making their way back in. Alex making his return from injury, and obviously Ola returning to the starting lineup tonight. But when you look at that team that was put out against Tonbridge, there's only really one change in there. How does this keep happening, Mike? How is it so? Yeah. One week we're superb, the next week not so much, and then we're straight back to it against a team like St Albans, and we've gone and dominated the game for large portions.
Yeah, I think if I knew that, Simon, I'd be managing Liverpool, because I don't know. I can't even try and wiggle out of that. I just think that we tried something different in training. We got everybody in on Saturday morning, and the pitch was icy over at Melksham. Couldn't train over there, so we ended up doing a little bit of running. But we had a chat with the lads in the change room. There was a little bit to do with the false nine, that we thought that could be a little bit of a player for us today. I thought it worked unbelievably well in the first half. And Geordie and Ola are difficult to pick up when they get in those pockets, and if they do get in the pockets and people want to come with them, then it exposes space in behind, which we're really good at exploiting at the moment. So we knew that St Albans are a good footballing team, great players, and we just knew that they were going to come and have a go. So that's exactly what we want, really.
And 3 goals this evening, 2 of them from Alfie Santos. It was only a few short weeks and months ago we were sat here sort of, maybe not getting the best out of Alfie. He was out of the team for a little while and then played a game with the 23s, and you've shown a lot of faith in Alfie to come back in and given him sort of the keys to the kingdom to come back as a second bite of the cherry and say, go on Alf, show us the Alfie that we saw in pre-season. Another 2 goals for him tonight. The first one, a really cultured finish after some great work, almost showing a striker's predatory skills there to sort of stay off the shoulder of the defender and slot past Johnson. And then the second goal, we've seen it from him a couple of times this season, Clevedon and Oxford. That's got to be up there with one of the better goals we've seen off him in quite an impressive rule book. I mean, Alfie's turn in form has been fantastic, hasn't it?
Yeah, and it has. I mean, it's not anything credit to me. It's just that you have the odd little chats with him, and you talk to him about the way he started off in pre-season. I thought, we've got an unbelievable player. He tailed off, I thought, badly when we got into sort of September, October, and we just needed to sit him out and say, look, this is the rules of how you play in our team. We'll let you go and do your thing once you get over the halfway line, but you've got to do your work off the ball. And I think he's responded absolutely magnificently to that, and he's been a credit because he's took it on the chin. He knew he wasn't playing very well, so I'm really pleased for him. I'm pleased for his girlfriend. I'm pleased for his family, his little kids, because their dad he's a player. He's a player.
Absolutely, and we talked about loan signings this year, Mike, and it's crucial that the guys that have come in, you've picked up some real finds this year. Ricky Aguiar, Harry Parsons, Cam Hargreaves, Callum Rowe, they've all come in and had fantastic impacts on the playing squad. You've gone out and you've done your due diligence again, and you've picked up Harrison Minturn and you've picked up Jordan Young, and Harrison, arguably one of the better players on the pitch again this evening at the back, an absolute cultured head on such young shoulders. He's an absolutely fantastic player. And Jordan Young, he's gone in again, and another great goal from Jordan. It was very unfortunate from the free kick. He's tied everything together. He's almost made it look tonight like another fantastic find. And how do you keep coming up with these gems on loan, Mike? It's every time.
it's not by luck, and it's having good relationships with the local clubs, and I feel that they trust us, that we're going to look after them. We're going to try and play a bit of football. Like we said before, we don't always get it right. It's a good learning ground for him. I mean, Minnow tonight, I thought he was superb, absolutely, with the ball, without the ball, heading it. When it's on to kick it out of play, he kicks it out of play as well. That's what we were a little bit concerned about when he first came. So in the first couple of sessions, he was dropping the ball down into midfield from headers, which we said, look, there's nothing wrong with heading it out, and we can all get back behind the ball. So he's I know Andy, his dad, and played against him when he was up at Cirencester. He's a little bit braver than his dad, believe it or not. A little bit better than his dad, but fantastic lad. Mum and Dad have got to be really, really proud of him.
And a little bit of a hat tip tonight as a former battling centre midfielder yourself, Mike. It must be really pleasing to see Callum Gunner come in and have the performance he has tonight and scoop the man of the match. Don't know how much ground he's covered on the GPS, but I'm sure you get the stats out when you've had a look through. He was absolutely phenomenal tonight.
Yeah, I haven't had a look at the stats, but you'd think there's got to be somewhere around about 12k for that one. It might be pushing 13 that he's run around, and it's all it is with Callum is just when we get the ball, calming him down a little bit and saying, look, there's 10-yard passes on, you can do that. And when you've got, if Rick is playing or Harry Parsons, he can drop into that space and receive the ball and then play it forward to them. And that's why tonight it was pleasing when Harry come on. He was doing a very similar role. Ola was great. Thought he got into the pockets, fantastic. And Geordie as well. That's his game. So looking at that false nine and the way that we've played it, it's worked tonight. That's the way we've done it.
Wazza and Bray back from injuries. The squad sort of now having a little bit of substance. It must be nice to be able to make those substitutions and bring players into the game, especially when tonight it looked like St Albans were trying to sneak their nose back into the game a little bit with the Jeffers goal. It must be really reassuring to know that you can start firming up and going back and holding out and grinding out wins.
Yeah, and like we say to the lads, if we're winning games and you're playing well, you stay in the team, and if you're not, then we'll make changes. And you've got to remember, we've got 4 centre halves playing along that back 4, and that might add to that little bit of inconsistency with us as well, because they're not used to playing there, Spence and Pars, and I think the majority of the time they've done a really good job. And they just, Pars today, first 10 minutes got caught out a couple of times on that top left hand corner, and we just said, look, adjust yourself a little bit and show him inside, get a little bit tighter, a little bit quicker, and then from then on I thought he was absolutely immense, Pars.
We turn our attention back to the road this weekend. First game on a Saturday for a little while. We're travelling all the way to Essex to go and take on Chelmsford. They're a team that you probably wouldn't expect to see lingering sort of down the bottom with the resources they've got and the team they've got there. Another one that's going to be looked at, I suppose, due to league positions, where we are now, where they are, that we're going to go into this as the favourites. But surely Chelmsford are going to start that game thinking this is going to be something here for us. How do we now go about taking this form into the Chelmsford game and planning to take 3 points on the road?
Yeah, I think we've played really well away from home, because the home team have a bit more of a go and they leave a few more spaces and gaps for us. I watched them against Hungerford on Saturday. I thought the first sort of half an hour, 35 minutes, they were the better team. They had sort of 4 or 5 really good chances, should have scored, and they didn't. They got a couple of injuries with hamstrings, so that was, it's not only us that gets hamstring pulls and these cold days and heavy fields and whatnot. But then I thought Hungerford were by far the better team in the second half and deservedly won the game. And any game in our league is tough because everybody can beat everybody at this standard of football, and we just need to make sure that the tempo's right from our sort of things and work out what we've got to do to get those 3 points. And more often than not, it's worked out so far this year. We've got a lot of draws when maybe we shouldn't have got those draws, and I'm sure at the end of the season that will come to help us. So it's exciting. It's a good time to be involved with the club, and we're just looking forward to a good game of football. They actually played some nice stuff, Chelmsford, as well, so it should be a good game.
Well, Mike, we close the evening 3-1 win, 3 points in the bag. up to 7th. We're still sticking into those playoffs. Before we let you crack on with your celebrations, Mike, I'm sure obviously you and everyone else has seen in the week that it broke on Twitter that Chippenham are to put a select 11 together to host Manchester United during the international break on the 26th. I think the question on everyone's lips, Mike, is as a former player and as just over 35 yourself, is there that temptation to lace up the boots and come out here and give us a little bit of a display?
I think that's just over 35 stone in it, that is at the moment. I would love to. I said to Neil the other day, but I've had two knee operations in the last year, and it's killed me a little bit, the knee operation thing. I might, if I could be manager, I'd love to be manager of the team, because there's a few legends in our Chippenham Town squad. It would be brilliant to manage them and have a bit of banter with. But yeah, we're really looking forward to it. Should be a good money raiser for the club. But more importantly than the money, it's getting everybody involved and feeling part of a fantastic club, and it's a town club, and it's lovely when everybody gets behind us.
Excellent. Well, Mike, congratulations for this evening and obviously putting together, you say, closing 7th in the playoffs at the moment. It's a fantastic achievement at this stage of the campaign, whatever way we address it. We'll let you crack on with your post matches, mate. All the very best from all of us here, and we'll see you at Chelmsford on Saturday.
Thanks.
Well done, Mike.
Cheers, lad.